How you feeling now?
Feel good, man. Just enjoying myself. I got a couple days off till I go to work, so I'm just vegging out, being a bum, and just, like I said, enjoying myself.
Yeah. What's your schedule usually like?
Well, it depends, how I'm feeling. Like I usually take like 3 to 4 days off of work after, just to re-heal, like go to the doctors if I have any injuries or anything like that, and go back to work like probably the following day. But in this situation, I don't have any, so I'm going back to work tomorrow. Training, I usually take like a week and a half to 2 weeks off, but like I said, no injuries. I'm feeling good, so I'm going back tomorrow also. So.
So what's your day job?
I work for Amazon, full time, from 7 to 7 basically, and then I go train when I get out of work. I'm a driver. I delivery, driving all day.
What area are you in?
Everywhere.
Okay.
I could be in Providence one day, Pawtucket, Barrington, then switch me to Attleboro North. It's crazy.
So don't be talking shit to your Amazon drivers. Show up.
Yeah.
Bad reviews either. What did you think of your opponent going into this fight? You got that quick, impressive first round finish. What were your kind of thoughts going into it?
Well, I first found out who he was when I got told, Pat Sullivan hit me up and said, that this guy's interested in fighting you. So I hit him up, hit up my coaches and stuff like that, and they had informed me that he used to train with us before I joined the gym, And they told me he's a game opponent. He shows up, and he's in your face, throws a lot of stuff that you just got to be prepared for. We worked on it, and the only thing that was to do Friday night was to execute,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's a tough opponent. Probably stylistically one of the toughest opponents I've faced so far because of his striking and the way he goes about doing his work, I mean, I always work on my striking. I work on my striking more than my grappling. But that's kind of why I'm taking a little break from fighting now, is so I can work on my ground game more. I'm still a white belt, so it's crazy all these submissions that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna work on my grappling. I want to get my blue belt. It's a little late. I should have had my blue belt a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna start going to like boxing gyms, work on my striking. And the one thing that I think is I need to work on, is like I have no problem striking. People, I don't know if people think that I'm scared to strike or whatever. Like my striking, I really think is my best thing, and I've yet to really show off my striking.
So can you talk about your transition from other athletics into martial arts?
Funny story, but one day me and my buddy decided we're gonna go check out a gym because my buddy actually has always trained. He trained back throughout high school, and then my senior after we just graduated. I joined the military. I came back. I wasn't really doing much, and he had told me that he was gonna go try out an MMA gym. I was like, oh man, I've always wanted to do that. Can I come with you? And I went with him, and from there I just started going every day, And 2.5 years later, we're here. The transition was tough, but not really at the same time, because once I start something, I get obsessed with it and I want to do it till I get it, And that was one thing I really wanted to do. So I was like, screw it, you know what? I'm gonna put in the time and the work and gonna learn the craft, and I did. And like I said, 2.5 years later, we're here. Don't give up on your goals, I guess, right?
You're 3-0, get 3 first-round finishes. I mean, what's next for you? What do you think is next? You kind of alluded you want to take a break, get that blue belt. Could you kind of elaborate on that?
I can't really really say much, you know, because every single time I say I'm gonna take a break, I end up getting a fight, and I'm like, all right, it's fight time. But nah, so my goal is to, like I said, take a break, get my blue belt, go to visit some boxing gyms, you know, get my striking better. There's always room for learning. I always say I think I'm still a virgin in this sport, you know. There's so much more I gotta learn, and I haven't even begin to learn anything yet. You know, I did everything I wanted to do this year. I made my pro debut. I successfully won 3 fights. So I think now it's time to sit back a little bit, help out my teammates, get ready for fights, and learn. You know, just because that's a big factor. You know, in this game, you always gotta learn. Always gotta learn. So.
Being like a light heavyweight and one of the heavier guys, is it kind of tough getting fights?
I mean, that's partially the reason why I went pro, because I hit the point where I was having a hard time finding fights. So I just said, screw it, you know, it's time. And then I made my pro debut, but I haven't had any problems finding fights yet. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people knocking at the door trying to take me out because I'm young, I'm undefeated, and a lot of people feel some type of way about my game plan and how I do my stuff. So, hey, I welcome it. You know, next person, please come up, see what happens. You know, it's funny because before my last fight, I'd actually hit up the matchmaker at Cage Titans to ask him about another person. He's like, oh, this guy actually just called you out. And yeah, and I've had a couple people message me saying, oh yeah, man, hopefully one day I get to see you in the cage or whatever it is, you know. Like I said, I welcome it. Bring it on, you know. I got a good team behind me, the best team behind me, and we come up with a game plan for whoever, and you see what happens, you know.
Do you have any final shout-outs or anything you want to give?
Shout outs. I would like to, obviously, to start off my coaches that have helped me throughout my last 3 camps. You know, Mark Delagrati, Andy Cody, Loco Lobo, Dave Keith, Pete Jeffries, and then to my teammates, Greg Rebello, Tommy Davis, Sean Lally, Jorgen DeCastro, and then all the guys. I mean, there's so many guys I can give a shout out to. You know, that are also like other like up and coming fighters. Dylan Lockhart, I train with him sometimes. And, you know, it's always fun, just, like moving around with the smaller guys because they move so much faster than the big boys. You know, Brendan Moret, he's another killer coming up. You know, so there's so many guys, man. And like I said, I'm spoiled to have the teammates that I have and the resources, you know. So, but yeah, that's about it, you know.